Hi, I'm Marian Maguire. I'm an artist from New Zealand and I have made 3 sets of work which I'm best known for in printmaking, which combine New Zealand history with ancient Greek vase painting. I was down in New Zealand in a place called Mackenzie Country, which is this mountain basin. It's actually a high plateau that looks like the desert. And a car was driving along this dusty road, so this dust was coming up the back. I thought, I can imagine the Greeks coming, kind of trudge, with the dust rising off. And I decided to look at setting some of these violent scenes in New Zealand. There are actually a lot of mythical similarities between Māori culture and ancient Greek culture. There's a whole lot of very easy parallels that run. The fantastic thing about lithography is that you can get tonal range out of one layer of printmaking all in one go, which is unusual for printmaking. But what is also fantastic for me in terms of lithography and why I chose it for these series is because it was the commercial process in the 19th century. So it was used to reproduce the images that related to the colonies. So there's a real match between the method and the way images were seen. So it ends up having the appearance that makes sense for the era. And I am talking about the 19th century in New Zealand, colonial history. The wars that erupted through the 1860s, more or less 1870s, or battles either side. The actual fighting was how colonisation came about finally by force. I decided with Titokowaru's dilemma that the protagonist would have to be Māori, so I'm looking at it from the other side. I fished around, I suppose, for various Māori leaders and decided on Titokowaru, who's from South Taranaki. Within Māori culture, he was of high rank and he was incredibly spiritual. It just so happened that he was also a gifted military strategist. I wanted to keep running the Greek New Zealand history combination, but I couldn't do it with a single Greek character because the ideas are too complicated. So I brought in Socrates to slow down things and put them in the realm of discussion rather than violence, even though it's about war. At various times in Titokowaru's life, he was in all the different positions of really trying to forge a peace, resisting through passive resistance, to actual fighting, and the whole thing is quite fluctuating. And I was thinking about what must have been going through his head at all these times, because he was an intelligent man and he thought hard. So that's really why I put him in conversation with Socrates, because I think that they were issues that Socrates was thinking about. So in this image here, the question they're discussing is about passive resistance. So there's a person standing naked with their hands open, someone else coming at them, effectively daring them to attack them when they're naked with their hands open. In Māori terms, the ones who've died, they are buried, but you still talk to the tupuna, the ancestors, and they're part of the whole lineage. They're still carried forward. He said this thing, and it was in Māori, and I can't say it in Māori. I shall not die, when death itself is dead, I shall be alive.